What's good YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. JD here with yet another review for you guys. This week marks the beginning of the Tokyo Olympics, and Nike, of course, they wanted to commemorate this occasion by collaborating with some of the best designers from Japan. One of those brands is of course Undercover, who Nike has a very long history with, and in this video I will be reviewing their latest collab, the Nike Dunk High Undercover. So what's good guys, I hope you guys are doing well. In this video I'm going to break down these sneakers. We'll talk about why this sneaker is very different than some of the other Nike Dunk Highs we've seen. You can probably already tell visually it does look a bit different. We'll get into the quality of this shoe, we'll cover sizing and also what's a good price to pay for these right now. And as always, I will be giving you that on-feet look, so make sure you stick around until the end of this video. So here it is, the Nike Dunk High Undercover 1985. A very unique looking pair of dunks, at least from a shape point of view. The reason that 1985 is in the name of the sneaker is because the shape of this particular model is supposed to resemble the original dunks that came out all the way back in 85. The most obvious difference for me is definitely the ankle collar. You notice that it does taper inwards, so it is a slimmer looking ankle collar, which I'm personally a big fan of. I like that look. Another difference is also the toe box. You'll see that the mudguard is a bit lower than some of the other dunks we've seen recently. The swoosh is also a bit thicker looking, which I'm definitely a big fan of compared to the skinnier looking swooshes we see on the modern dunks. And also the midsole. The midsole, you might notice, is a bit thicker than the newer dunks. These sneakers were inspired by basketball, which is not something you typically associate with Undercover or its founder Jun Takahashi. They definitely went in a different direction than their usual collabs. We see some Undercover branding on the back of the sneaker, and also on the lateral side it says UBA, which stands for Undercover Basketball Association. Of course, not a real basketball association, it's fictional. And the colorway too, you can definitely see the very obvious basketball inspiration there. A classic bread colorway, which is super common on Jordans. You got black, red, white, very classic basketball colors. And the midsole of course has that speckled pattern, which we have seen on numerous Undercover collabs in the past. But one thing that really impressed me about this shoe, having it in hand, is definitely the quality. You're getting some very nice leather on the shoe, some nice soft tumble leather. You can definitely see that on the red panels of the shoe and also the black panels of the shoe. The leather is not amazing, but it's decent. The price point of these sneakers were $150, which is a bit higher of course than most Nike Dunks, which retail for about $110. This sneaker, as well as that recently released Fragment Dunk, both of them have had that $150 price point, which I think is mainly because it is a collab with a pretty high-end brand. But at least with these, you're getting some pretty good quality leather compared to regular dunks, and definitely compared to the Fragments. And not only that, this is also a dunk for the OG dunk lovers because of that original shape. I didn't understand why that Fragment pair was $150. With this pair, I definitely think the price point is justified given all the different features and quality of the shoe. This sneaker did drop as part of Olympic Week on the Sneakers app and several other retailers. All of the sneakers and collabs this week were either inspired by Japan or featuring Japanese designers. I kind of feel like this sneaker got lost a little bit in this crazy week of drops, but I don't think you should sleep on this. A great colorway, great quality. I actually think this is one of the better dunks we've seen this year. Now let's get into sizing, and usually when I'm talking about sizing when it comes to dunks, it's usually one sentence. Go true to size and you'll be fine. But these dunks do not fit me like normal Nike Dunks, and you can see why just by looking at this. Here I have them side by side with another pair of dunks. These are the Iowas, and you can just see that the Undercover pair is a lot narrower, especially in the midfoot as well as the toe region compared to the Iowas. These 1985 sneakers definitely fit a lot narrower compared to the modern versions. I said the same thing when I got the neutral gray Jordan 1 85s. They fit a lot narrower than the newer Jordan ones. So I tried these on, and I will say they're definitely quite tight around the midfoot area, and my suggestion is to actually go a half size up than your normal dunk size. For me, they're just way too tight in the midfoot area to go true to size. So go a half size up from your true size, a half size up from whatever your normal dunk size is. If you're wondering what's a good price to pay for these, if you look at resale prices right now, these are not really going for too much above retail. In fact, some sizes are pretty much sitting at retail. And I really do think these are a steal compared to all of the dunks that have dropped this year. I think you can actually take your time and decide whether you want to cop these or not, because I don't really see the prices on these going up too fast. There have just been so many releases lately, and not to mention there has been nearly 1,000 different dunks that have dropped this year. So even though these are an OG inspired pair of dunks, I don't really see the prices on these going up too much, so you can take your time and decide if you really want them. But let's wrap this thing up. What are my final thoughts on the Nike Dunk High 85 collab with Undercover? This was a pair that I really had to get in hand to truly admire how good of a shoe this is. Shape looks sick. I love the materials on here as well, and the colorway, definitely in hand, it really pops. The speckled outsole as well adds a nice touch, and for these prices, I think this is definitely a steal. So a collab between two high profile names, a decent price, good materials, and of course resembling that OG shape as well. Definitely for me, I think this collab, this is a cop. But my opinion does not matter at all. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think of this pair right here? And if you haven't already done so, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I am super close to hitting that 50K. Give me a follow on Instagram, and of course subscribe to the podcast. A lot of good feedback from you guys, all of my listeners on the pod. The Kickback Pod, available on Spotify and Apple Music. The link is in the description. I do that podcast with Fabian from High Snobiety. The on-feed portion of the video dropping right now. Thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace.